Hello everyone. Today I'm going to explain Banach contraction principle. This Banach contraction principle. This says that let Xt be a complete metric space. If T is a mapping of X into itself satisfying this inequality is said to be Banach contraction. This says that the distance between Tx and Ty is less than equal to alpha times the distance between X and Y, where alpha it is a number which lying between 0 and 1. 1 is not included here. So here the contraction of this T mapping satisfying the contraction condition. Contraction condition means the distance of this mapping, right? Distance between the after applying this mapping we get some points, and distance between these points will be less than the distance between the original points. So basically it contracts, right? And this is true for every xy belonging to the set X. Then the T has a unique fixed point in X. So if our X is complete, if a T mapping is contraction, then T always attain a fixed point, and moreover this fixed point is unique. So we will prove this theorem in two parts. In the first part we will show the existence of fixed point, and in the second part we will show the uniqueness of fixed point. So now the first part, existence of fixed point. Now what is given to us? The given that T is a contraction mapping, right? Means for any real number alpha lying between 0 and 1, open from 1, it's satisfying this inequality. Okay. Further, you consider any point from the set X. Let it be X naught. Now we define a sequence Xn in such a way, right? Now what is this? How to define this sequence? We consider any point from the set X. Now next point will be what? X1 will be T of X naught. It is the image of the point X naught, right? With respect to the mapping T. So T of X naught, say T of X naught to be X1. Then the point X2 will be what? T of X1, right? We get the point X1 by applying T on X naught. Now we define X2 by again applying mapping T on X1, means it will be T square X naught. Similarly X3 it will be T cube at X naught, and so on. So Xn is what? It is nth iteration of T over the point X naught, right? So we apply n times the mapping T on the point X naught. So we choose only one point X naught, and using this point we define a sequence Xn, right? Which is repeating sequence after applying repeating times the mapping T, right? On the previous element, on every previous element. So we get Xn is nothing but Tn X naught, right? So now we generate a sequence. What we want to show? We want to show there exists a fixed point. For existence of fixed point, we first define a Cauchy sequence, right? So we will prove this part in three steps. The first part is we first prove that for all small n belonging to the natural numbers, the distance between any two consecutive points is less than equal to alpha to the power n distance of x naught and x1. So now just see the proof of that previous. We prove it by induction. So for n is equal to 1, what we get? D of x1 comma x2. It will be what? Substitute the value of x1, this is tx naught. Substitute the value of x2, it is t of x1, right? Now what is t of x naught and t of x1? Clearly this is less than equal to alpha times d of x naught comma x1 by applying contraction, right? So using contraction we get this condition. So first for n is equal to 1 this holds. Now we assume that for n is equal to k, the previous inequality, this inequality given on the previous slide, that holds. That means the distance between two consecutive points xk plus 1 will be less than equal to alpha to the power k distance of x 0 comma x1. So now we will prove it for n is equal to k plus 1. So for this we consider distance of xk plus 1 and xk plus 2, right? It can be written as distance of xk, txk and txk plus 1. Again, by using the contraction, what we have, this will be less than equal to alpha times distance of xk comma xk plus 1, right? But using the equation 2.2, distance of xk plus 1 is less than equal to alpha to the power k. So further we can apply over here, this will be less than equal to alpha to the power k plus 1 distance of x 0 comma x1, and this we want to show, right? So by induction we get this thing hold always. So step 1 hold, that means this inequality holds. Now in the step 2 we will prove that this sequence xn is a Cauchy sequence in x. So for this we consider m and n any natural number such that n is greater than m. Now what is the distance between xm and xn? Since your n is strictly greater than m, so we can, using triangles inequality of matrix space, we can add one point xm plus 1 both ways again. So after applying this triangles inequality, we get this inequality, that this distance of xm comma xn will be less than equal to xm plus 1, xm plus 1, xm plus 2, xm plus 3, xm plus 4, and so on, distance of xn minus 1 xn, right? Now we will use this inequality over here. Since the distance between two consecutive numbers will be less than equal to this, so we will apply over here. So what we get, distance of xm xn will be less than equal to alpha to the power m distance of x 0 x1. Similarly, alpha m plus 1 distance of x 0 x1, alpha to the power m plus 2 x 0 x1, and so on, right? So now in each case we have this distance is common, so you can take outside. So you get this is alpha to the power m plus alpha to the power m plus 1, alpha to the power m plus 2, and so on, distance of x 0 x1. Okay, so now alpha m we can take outside to be common from here. Since m is less than n, so you can take it to be outside. You get this is 1, then alpha square, until up to alpha to the power n minus m minus 1, right? Now this is what, this is nothing but your GP series going from 0 to n minus m minus 1. Okay, and clearly the sum of this GP series of finite terms will be less than equal to infinity, so we can replace this with sum up to infinity. Okay, so now since this is a GP series, what will be the sum of this series? It will be 1 over a upon 1 minus r. Here a is 1 and r is alpha, so it will be 1 over 1 minus alpha. So we get this thing. Now further, our alpha is a number which is less than 1, strictly less than 1. So whenever your m is going to infinity, alpha to the power m, it will goes to 0. This is some finite number, this is also some finite number, right? So this quantity is finite and this is going to 0 as m goes to infinity. So ultimate, this distance is very very small whenever our mn is very very large, right? So we get the distance of xm comma xn is less than epsilon for all nm greater than m. So this implies the sequence is a Cauchy sequence. So hence xn is a Cauchy sequence in capital X. So in step 1 we first prove the inequality, that the distance between two executive point is less than equal to alpha to the power some number into distance of x 0 x1. In the second step we have shown that this sequence is a Cauchy sequence. Now in the third part we will show that this sequence is converging to some point and that point is a fixed point. So now just see, in the third step we will show that the point x is a fixed point. Now what is this x point? Since what is given to us that x is complete. Since x is complete, therefore every Cauchy sequence is convergent in x. So say xn converges to x. That means the limit of xn is x, right? Also, what is given to us? T is contraction. So distance of tx ty will be less than equal to alpha times distance of xy, and this is true for every xy. Now since alpha is strictly less than 1, we can also replace this alpha with less than, so we get distance of this is strictly less than d of xy, right? So whenever the distance between these 2 points is very very small, corresponding this distance is also very very small. So this implies our t is contraction, which is contraction mapping. It is also continuous mapping, right? Because by the definition of continuity, whenever this distance is very very small, if t mapping also satisfy this thing, then our t is a continuous mapping. So whenever t is contraction, we can prove that t is continuous also. T contraction always implies t is continuous, right? So we will use step. Since t is continuous, therefore tx, which is nothing but t limit of n going to infinity xn, we can take this limit to be outside because our t is continuous. So we can take t to be inside, right? So we get this is t of xn. Okay, but what is our t of xn? This is nothing but xn plus 1. Okay, so as n going to infinity, our sequence is converging to x, so xn plus 1 is also going to x as n goes to infinity. So this value is nothing but x. So what we get, t of x is equal to x. So by definition of fixed point, now this x point is a fixed point of t, and this we want to prove. So in these three steps we have shown that the mapping T has a fixed point. So that means the existence of fixed point is established. Next we want to show that this fixed point is unique. What is the uniqueness? For uniqueness, let if possible we consider two fixed points of T in X such that X and Y they are not equal, means the distance between X and Y is not 0, right? So since they are fixed points, so t of x is equal to x and t of y is equal to y. Distance of xy is same as the distance of tx ty, right? Because these points are same, so you can replace x with tx and y with ty. Now by using the contraction mapping, this distance should be less than equal to alpha times d of xy, which is strictly less than d of xy, right? But this is not true. The d of xy is strictly less than d of xy. Never true, because x is not equal to y, so we get contradiction. It means d of xy should be 0, right? There are two possibilities only, either it is strictly greater than 0 or it is equal to 0. Now strictly greater than 0 case will not be possible, because in that case contraction does not hold. We get alpha is greater than equal to 1, which is wrong, right? So there is only one possibility left, that distance of between 2 points x and y, it should be 0, which implies x should be equal to y by the definition of matrix space. Whenever this distance is 0, the points are same. So this implies x and y are same. It means the unique fixed point in x. So this proves that there exists unique fixed point in the set x. Now some remarks. If x is not complete, then t may or may not have a fixed point, right? For this we consider an example x. We take an open set 0 1, t a mapping which is x by 2. Clearly this is contraction. You choose any points. The distance is usual distance, mod of x minus y. Clearly mod of x by 2 minus y by 2 is always less than mod of x minus y, right? So therefore this is contraction. Okay, but this is not complete because this is an open set. For completeness it should be closed one, right? So this x is not complete, however the mapping t satisfy the contraction condition, right? So this does not satisfy the complete hypothesis of above theorem. So may or may not there exist a fixed point. So now just see 0 is a fixed point, t of 0 is 0, but 0 is not in X. So there does not exist any fixed point in the set X. Okay, one more remark: if T is not contraction, then also there may or may exist a fixed point. So again we consider a metric X going from 1 to infinity. Clearly this is closed, this is complete one, right? Here it should be capital X. T is a mapping going from X to X. It be a mapping which is defined like 2X. Now clearly this mapping is not contraction. Every time the distance will become large, right? Distance between Tx and Ty will be large than distance of xy. So it is not contraction, right? And it also have no fixed point. What will be the fixed point of this mapping? 0. However, 0 is not included in X. So there does not exist any fixed point, right? So that means the above theorem says that these are two sufficient conditions for the existence of fixed point, not necessary, right? If these two conditions hold, then there always exists a fixed point. If one of them does not hold, then may or may not fixed point exist. Now in this case, how I'm saying may this mapping may have a fixed point, if rather taking x to be 1 to infinity, we take from 0 to infinity, then there exists a fixed point, however it is not a contraction, right? So there may or may not. Also in the same way, if 0 is included, again 0 is a fixed point, however it is not a complete space, because 1 is not including in this, it's not closed one. So with this, lecture 3 is completed.